Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I realized something today actually. I was thinking about doing a one brand tutorial of some sort, and for some reason I thought about doing Hourglass, and I realized, you guys, that even though I have loved this brand for years now, it seriously has been one of my favorite brands of all time, and I've raved about their products individually all the time. I use them all the time. You guys probably know that they're scattered throughout, my tutorials everywhere on my channel. And even though I love every product individually, I have never tried like a full face of Hourglass. I have never used all of these products together, which is insane to me. Like, not even off camera. I'm not just talking about like a video doing a full face of Hourglass. I have never tried to put them all to use at once. So I thought today would be a really good time to do that. I really want to do this more often with other brands too. So if you guys can think of another brand that you see me talk about quite a bit and I've never tried using all of their products at once, comment them down below because I would love to do more like this. I'm so curious to see how everything's gonna look because, like I said before, so many of these products that are sitting in front of me I have talked about and raved about and put in favorites video individually, and I've used them with other products, but I've never used them together, which is insane because, as a brand, I'm assuming that, you formulate your products to go together, and so I'm assuming that all of these will be beautiful together. So yeah, we're gonna test this out and see how it all looks. I'm gonna do a little mini wear test today. I am filming this a little bit later in the afternoon, but I personally am really curious to see how everything's gonna wear. Also, I just got a PR package from Hourglass, and there's some new launches which also kind of inspired me to do this video. By the way, this is not sponsored by Hourglass, but they have some new products as well. They have a new setting spray and a new eyeshadow primer. So we're gonna be throwing these in the mix as well. Okay, let's get started with our makeup. I think I wanna start with, let's do complexion first. I'm going to start off by using the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I'm going to give this a shake before I apply it. I'm going to do about 1.5 pumps of this. I'm going to use my fingers to apply it. It has a very velvety finish to the skin, or feel to the skin, I should say. A little bit definitely goes a long way. It's been a minute since I've used this primer actually, so I probably could have gotten away with just 1 pump. But I'm just going to continue to massage that into the skin. I'm going to bring the excess down the neck. And I feel like it does get to the point where it kind of sinks into the skin. It feels like it's sitting on top of the skin for a while, but then once you massage it in for a minute and let it sit, it does actually sink into the skin pretty nicely. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going to use one of my favorites. This is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Shell. And something I've learned about this product over the years of using it, because I really have used this for years, it used to be like my top favorite foundation ever, but I have realized that it is so highly pigmented that you really don't need as much as you think you need. So instead of drawing stripes on the face, I've noticed that like just dotting it in the areas that you need more coverage really does the trick. Like, this is going to be plenty. You can always go back in and build it up. I do feel like this is a foundation that can look heavy if you apply too much. That's why I am preferring to apply it in smaller layers. I'm just going to build it up. I'm using one of my favorite brushes, which I lost for the longest time until I was planning this video, and I was just determined to find it. I found it. This is the Hourglass, I think it's just their foundation brush, and I'm so happy that it's back on my desk because I love this brush. Okay, so that gave me a pretty light amount of coverage actually, compared to what I want, I guess, but it did even out the skin tone. I'm just gonna do the same thing, and I'm just gonna start layering this up in light layers. I'm gonna do a little bit more on the cheeks, just dotting it around, a little more on the blemishes. I'm actually okay with the center of the face being like that because we're gonna go into concealer in just a minute. Okay, I'm just gonna take that same brush and blend everything out. I'm also gonna make sure it's blending down the neck. And I'm actually really happy with that coverage. I used to go in so much more heavily with that stick foundation, but I really loved the more lighter coverage, especially since their concealer is so good. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of conceal the areas that I want a little bit more coverage instead of layering up foundation. I am taking what's left on the foundation brush and just going across my nose slightly. Okay, we're gonna go into the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I'm gonna mix a couple shades. I'm gonna use Cotton and Silk. I'm gonna start with Silk. It has a little bit more of a pink undertone, which is why I really like it. Especially for like the under eye area, I feel like it really helps just cancel out any purpley undertones in the under eye area. I am going to kind of dot it over top of the blemishes. I'm going to kind of bring it on the areas where I have a little bit of redness, a little on the center of the face. And then before I blend it out, I'm actually going to go in with that more yellow tone shade. This is Cotton. And I'm just going to kind of mix that in a little bit more lightly with the Silk shade. Do a little down the nose. Okay, I'm gonna take the Hourglass concealer brush and I'm gonna begin to just buff this out. I'm just taking my sponge and pressing everything down into the skin. Normally I would take the concealer on the eyelid. I'm gonna bring it into this inner corner here, but since we have an eye primer, I wanted to kind of leave that as bare as possible for now. Wow, my skin's looking really nice. Don't you think? Don't you think it looks like glowy, but also a little matte? Like it almost has a satin finish to it. So pretty. Okay, let's see. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna set the face with powder. I'm gonna go into the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is another one of my favorite powders. It's actually been a while since I've used it, and I've never used it on top of this concealer. I think I've tried it on top of this foundation, but it's been forever. I'm gonna make sure to pat out the creases, and then I'm gonna take their double-ended brush with some of that powder and just start pressing it into the T-zone. The thing I really love about this powder is it sets the face, but it doesn't take away from that radiance. It actually has a little bit of a glow to it. No sparkle at all, just a little bit of like a luminosity to it. So I'm taking that up pretty much on the entire face. I'm wanting to use their other powders over top of the outer portions of the face, so I'm not putting as much powder on the cheeks, but I am putting some because I want to set those blemishes, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to take the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is one that I purchased a while ago and I really do love it. I think I purchased it off of your guys' recommendations actually. I'm going to mix all 3 shades on the other end of that brush. I'm going to tap off the extra and I'm just going to buff this over the cheek area, kind of focusing it on the high points of the face. I'm going to take a tiny bit down the center of the face actually, just to have a little bit of that added glow. Okay, next I'm going to take the Hourglass bronzer. This is such a beautiful bronzer. It's the Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Nude Bronze Light. This has been a favorite of mine for years now. I think the shade is so perfect for my skin tone. The baked formula just really blends out so easily on the skin. So I'm going to take that and just buff it out with this brush. This is the Alamar Cosmetics bronzer brush. Make sure to get some into the hairline. I'm going to apply some across the nose and then of course down the neck and along the jawline. Then I'm going to take that fluffy brush again and just buff out the edges. Okay, I'm actually going to layer up a couple of highlighters. I'm going to start off in this palette right here. This is a limited edition palette, but I saw that it was available on the Hourglass website actually today. So I'm going to use it again. I'm only wanting to use it though for this highlight shade. I'm going to take that brush again. This is the Strobe Powder and Iridescent Strobe Light. They do sell this as an individual. So if you're not wanting the palette, but you are interested in this, it is available individually. I love the pinky undertone that it gives. I'm obsessed with this highlighter. I totally need to buy like a full size. I feel like I would use it every day. Okay, so we have highlighter on the cheekbones. Next I'm going to use blush. And for blush, I'm wanting to go into this one right here. It's such a beautiful shade. I've owned this for a while now. It's the Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush in the shade Euphoric Fusion. It's the prettiest, like, berry color. It almost looks intimidating in the pan, but it's so beautiful. I'm going to tap off the extra and I'm going to apply that on more of the sides of the cheeks, I would say. And then once there's less product on the brush, I'm going to bring it more toward the apples of the cheeks. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. So it's so fun to see everything come together. I'm going to take that fluffy brush again and just kind of sweep everything away from the center of the face just to kind of blend it out. Oh, I'm obsessed. Okay. I'm going to be using a cream highlighter later, but I think we're going to move to brows next. I actually love these brow pencils from Hourglass. This is the Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil. I think I'm going to try out the shade Soft Brunette. They sent me a bunch of shades. I think I went through the dark brown shade that I really loved. I have a soft brown shade, but I haven't tried this warm brown. And I swatched it and I felt like it might be a good match actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my brows with this. Okay, actually, I feel like that's a great match for my brows. I'm usually a little bit paranoid when it comes to shades called warm brown or warm brunette because I'm afraid of it having too much of a red undertone, but this doesn't at all. I feel like it actually matches my brow hairs perfectly, so I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to keep that right here front and center to use later. Let's do a little bit of an eye look. I'm going to take the new Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. I have never used this before. Oh, okay. I thought that it would have like a little wand inside, but it doesn't, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the back of my hand. Okay, it has a little bit of a beigey tint to it. I'll show you in a minute. Right there. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm excited. I used to be somebody that just never cared for eyeshadow primer. And then like this year, I feel like everything changed. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that and just take a fluffy brush. This one's from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to apply that all over the eyelid. So I realized something also. Hourglass does have eyeshadow palettes. I don't own any of their like pressed powder eyeshadow palettes. So I'm gonna hop over to another brand really quick just to do a couple of things into the crease. And then I have some glitter toppers that are gonna be like the main focal point of this look. But I wanted to throw in this Charlotte Tilbury palette that I recently purchased. Actually, I bought this like a couple months ago and it's just been sitting on my desk and I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So I really wanted to just kind of throw it in this video really quick. It's the new Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette. I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here, just on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to buff that into the crease, blending it up and out. So this eyeshadow primer seems to be really gripping onto the eyeshadow, which is nice, but also I'm not really having problems blending it out, which is a good thing as well. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink shade, and I'm just going to throw that right on top of that first shade actually. I'm also going to take that pink shade and run it underneath the lower lash line. Okay, I think that's about as much as I want for like a base. Now we're gonna move into the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadows. These are so beautiful. I picked 3 shades. I think I'm gonna end up with this one. This is called Aura. It's a little bit of a pinky color. I love these. I've been using these for a very long time. They make such a great addition to my makeup collection because you can use them on top of anything. So I'm gonna use this one. Again, this is the shade Aura. I'm just gonna take this on my finger and I'm gonna press it onto the eyelid and I'm just gonna build that up in layers until I get the intensity that I want. That's what's nice about these two. I feel like you can go really sheer with them if you want to, or you can continue to build them up and they become a focal point of your eye look. But these come in so many different shades. I'm obviously partial to the more pinky tones just because that's what I gravitate toward on a daily basis. Wow, these are beautiful. It's been a minute since I've worn them alone. Like I always use them as toppers, but they're such stunning eyeshadows by themselves too. I actually feel like this tone matches that Euphoric Fusion blush really beautifully. I'm hopping into that eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury and I'm dipping into this, and then I'm gonna take this for the inner corner. I'm taking that pink shimmer shade and just kind of lightly dusting it along the lower lash line a little bit. I just felt like there should be some sort of a sheen on the lower lash line to complement the glitter eyeshadow on the top lid. And then I'm going to take that light metallic shade and just place it in the inner corner of the eye. Then I'll take what's left and just pop it underneath the brow. Okay, I'm actually really happy with that eye look. Let's apply mascara next. This is one of my favorite mascaras of all time, the Hourglass Caution Mascara. I love to wear this on special occasions or whenever I need my eyelashes to look completely false. Like if I have an event or if I'm wearing more of a smoky eye and I need my lashes to just look massive, this is my go-to. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. You guys know I've talked about this several times on my channel, but honestly, it has been a while since I've worn it on my channel, which makes me excited to put it on again. Okay, well I kind of made a little bit of a mess with that mascara, but I really wanted to build it up to show you guys the effect that it can give. And I love it. I love this mascara so much. I'm gonna go ahead and brush up the brows. All right, now we're gonna go into that cream highlighter I was mentioning. I'm gonna use the Hourglass Vanish highlight stick, I think it's called. And it's in the shade Champagne Flash. I'm gonna go ahead and actually take my sponge and go directly onto the applicator. And then just lightly press my sponge onto the skin and it gives the prettiest glow. This is probably one of my more recent products from Hourglass, even though it launched a while ago, but I purchased it more recently and it has become one of my favorite stick highlighters of all time. Wow. Okay, for lips, I'm gonna take a tiny bit of this Girl lipstick. I can't remember the exact name, but it's in the shade Peacemaker. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit of that because I want most of the lips to be the gloss that I'm going to apply, but I'm just gonna put on a little bit of this as a base. And then I have these Hourglass Unreal lip glosses, which I still have the original PR package. These are amazing. I love the formula, and they actually sit displayed in my beauty room like this. I'm going to use the shade Provoke. I love this color. It's such a beautiful kind of mauvey, beigey pink. The formula is so good on this. There's a few different finishes in this formula. I personally like more of the cream finish. The shiny or glittery ones are also really pretty. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like this one, for example, like it has actual glitter pigments in it, where some of these other shades are more of just like an opaque gloss. They're all beautiful, but I find myself getting the most use out of the ones without the glitter. I'm just gonna use my finger to kind of blend that together. It has a really nice minty taste to it. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, before we try out the setting spray, I'm gonna step back and assess the situation. I'm gonna take a little more bronzer just to add that bit more of warmth to the skin. Okay, and then I am gonna add a bit more blush. Just that same Euphoric Fusion blush. I'm just gonna add it right here a little bit more just to make that more intense. Now this does have a little bit of like a highlighter swirled into it, so it's gonna give you a really glowy finish, which I like. I'm gonna dust it across the nose slightly too. So pretty. Okay, I think the highlighter is good. Let's go ahead and brush off any of the mascara marks really quickly. Now, let's do the setting spray and then we'll set the brows. So I'm gonna use this brand new Hourglass Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. This is supposed to be more of a hydrating, dewy setting spray. If I read the card directly, here, let me see. It says that it's blurring, hydrating, it has a radiant finish, it's vegan and cruelty-free. You're supposed to shake well and hold 10 inches from face. Allow formula to dry before opening your eyes. Okay, well, here we go. I'm shaking it. I'm gonna hold it about 10 inches away. Ooh, the mist is awesome. It's not dry, but it's not like in the air anymore, so I'm gonna open my eyes. Ooh, I really like the mister on that. Once I feel like it's almost dry, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the back side of my sponge and just press everything into the skin again. Okay, and then one of my other favorite products actually from Hourglass is their brow gel. I love the tinted formula, but I also use the clear quite a bit. This is the Arch Fiber Gel, and this is in the shade Soft Brunette. I'm gonna go ahead and run this through the brows really quick, just to add a bit more dimension and hold. Okay, I'm gonna take a tiny bit more of the Veiled Translucent Powder, like a tiny bit. And I'm just gonna take that and just kind of reapply over the areas that I really want to remain pretty matte throughout the day, or throughout the night, I should say. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but this looks amazing. Oh my gosh. I seriously cannot believe that I haven't taken the time to like try all these all together. But you know, here we are, better late than never. Just making sure everything is blended the way I need it to be. Wow, okay, so what do you guys think of this makeup look? I am so impressed by everything. I already am so impressed by this brand, but using them together really did amp up my love for everything. I don't know, this is so fun. I would seriously love to try this out with other brands like drugstore or high-end, because I feel like when I do this, I'm able to showcase what the brand is capable of, and holy smokes, I love my makeup right now. I'm gonna do a little bit of a wear test. It'll probably be more like vlog style, but it's currently 3:16 p.m. So I'm gonna wear this through the rest of the night and just see how it wears. I'm really curious to see how all these things wear together. Obviously, right off the bat, these are definitely more dewy complexion products, so I wouldn't be surprised if I look even more dewy by the end of the day. I have been very impressed with the wear of these products individually, but that's kind of why I want to see what it does as I wear them all at the same time. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is very luxury looking. Hourglass obviously is not the cheapest brand out there, but I feel like it's one that I've always felt is worth the hype. I feel like there are so many products that I've tried from them that really work for me. And so, you know, in my opinion, if you are somebody who wants to splurge on a brand, Hourglass is definitely one that you should look into. It's one of my favorites, and I'm loving how this looks. So yeah, I will see you guys in a little bit for a check-in, and then we will close out the video. Okay, so I'm clocking in here at about 6 p.m. So it's been, what, like 3 hours? I forget what time I started filming this. But everything definitely looks really pretty. I would definitely say that all these products lean toward a more dewy and hydrated finish as far as the skin products go. The eye products are still looking great. Everything else is still on the face. But it's definitely something that I'm noticing, and it is what I was expecting because my face was already looking so dewy upon application. So yeah, things are a little bit more oily than I would like them to be right now, but everything looks really pretty regardless. I probably will touch up a little bit in the T-zone just because it's already starting to get a little bit dewy in my opinion, and I love all these products. I'm just, you know, this video is again about just seeing how they all wear together, and yes, they are definitely all very dewy, but I kind of wanted to give you guys an update on how everything is wearing. I still love how my makeup looks, but it definitely is pretty glowy, so this is what we're working with 3 hours in. So we're going back in time a little bit so I can film the outro, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know in the comments if there's any other brands that you would like to see me do a one brand tutorial with, or if there's a brand that I've used a ton of that like I haven't ever put all together like this. Let me know in the comments. I would love to continue to make more of these videos. I think it's very helpful. I think it really shows a lot about, you know, one brand at a time, which I think is sometimes really fascinating and interesting. So be sure to leave that comment down below if you have any other ideas. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.